My name's Uma. I've been teaching yoga for about 15 years, and at least half of those I've had the pleasure of being at Gertrude Street. I'm deeply passionate about working with women, and that has unfolded to become a passion for the empowerment of the feminine, which of course is an energy and a lot broader than simply working with women. I like to joke that I fell into this work accidentally. The very first women's circles I held were during my pre- and postnatal yoga classes, when I could sense that these women were craving more than just moving their bodies and connecting to their breath, that these were incredibly intense times of transition in their lives, and the opportunity for evolution was held in that deeply feminine space. So many women are drawn to meet with other women in circle and ceremony, where they can feel something deep and true reflected back into their being. But finding the space to do it in this masculine-dominated culture is pushing against everything that we're taught. Learning the laws of the sacred feminine has been a journey spanning more than a decade. I've been called down the Shakta Tantra path, the rich goddess mythology, potent with wisdom that integrates the earth and life with spirituality. A path that emphasizes the descent into the creative darkness of the earth, instead of the more patriarchal model of spirituality that values transcendence or overcoming the body to reach a higher realm. There was so much I didn't know in those first circles and gatherings. I was making it up as I went along, but I leaned into what I did know and what I trusted was right, because I could sense the hunger for it. This is what I knew. There's powerful healing in being witnessed and heard. And these women needed a space to soften and relax in order to listen and observe. That I could hold that space simply with my intention, my integrity. That I didn't really have to do anything. The power of the circle always held the medicine. That being heard and witnessed is very different to being fixed. We have to become okay to linger in silence sometimes. We have to overcome the instinct to make everything better, to fade all the shadows into light. Over time, I've learned how to work with the endocrine system. And women have a bit more of a complicated time there, with the monthly cycles of menstruation and the broader reproductive cycles too. We have a lot going on, and because we're not taught to embrace these cycles from a young age, we're cut off from our own internal wisdom. This is the moment we're taught to cover up the shadows, to fix the problems of menstrual discomfort, to take contraceptive pills and painkillers that help us to pretend that none of it's happening, to numb the inner voice, to silence the womb. These attitudes are carried into pregnancy and birth, when all of a sudden a woman is celebrated to some extent for her womb. It can be very confusing. And once the babies are birthed, it's common to go back to feeling cut off once again, until perhaps menopause or perimenopause brings a whole new transition, an opportunity for a deepening of wisdom. Faded and fixed once again with synthetic hormones and surgeries, with countless unnecessary hysterectomies being performed with the unbelievable catchphrase, "You don't need it anymore anyway," as if the uterus is a dysfunctional spare part. Things are changing, thankfully. Attitudes towards natural or active birth are shifting. And embracing the natural cycles of bleeding and beyond is something that more women are opening to. Empowering women to understand themselves is ultimately connecting to the broader cycles of the planet, our home. And more than ever, we need to sit with the shadows of our situation, to listen and observe the earth in order to effect real healing, without moving to fade it or numb out the pain. The feminine is in everything, in everyone. So this journey might begin with women, but it's ultimately inclusive. It's non-dualism in action for the sanctity of all life.